I must admit, I got lost when I first tried to discover this store. I went through parts of downtown Athens that I would have never explored, parts that made me uncomfortable even though I was accompanied by friends, which made me wonder, why does this happen? What is the difference between a good area and a bad area? I shook off the feeling I had and tried to observe my surroundings without a fixed assumption before I finally arrived at Bazaar Wuxtry. I enjoyed my walk to my destination and reached the corner where Bazaar Wuxtry was located at. But as I passed cute boutique stores, diners, and restaurants, I was a bit disappointed. Its rundown appearance compared to the places around it was dispiriting. Downtown business owners have even given them complaints since 1981 about its eyesoreness. Nevertheless, that's beside the point, because once I walked into the store, I could tell that it was designed for music lovers. The phrase, "don't judge a book by its cover," applies to this situation. Once you enter the store, you feel a bit overwhelmed with the number of comics, vinyls, games, toys, records, and CDs that are available. However, this just adds to its quirky environment. This store has been in business since 1976. It is the oldest, still operating record store in the state of Georgia, which is quite impressive for any small business. Dan Wall and Mark Meth, the founders of Bazaar Wuxtry, came down from Chicago to start a record store in specifically a college town, since college kids were mainly the ones that owned records at that time. So college students would sell it to them to earn money. As the business gradually grew though, Wall and Meth began to also promote and support local musicians. And as a result, several of their employees are well-known musicians such as Brian Burton, a Grammy-winning hip-hop artist and producer, but now referred to as Danger Mouse. Despite its composure, Bazaar Wuxtry has impacted many lives, whether it be by helping people grow in their music or by giving people a place where they can freely express themselves. Learning about its background story really impacted the way I view the store. When I entered the building, I instantly felt joy. There was so much to explore. Because I knew about its upbringing, I felt impressed as well. Their store is well put together, and you can just feel the nostalgia as you pass by old comics and iconic vinyls. If I didn't know about its history, I think my reaction would be somewhat similar, but with less admiration, since it just looks like a disorganized, rundown store due to the compact space it is in, overstocked with different types of random objects. My first experience in Bazaar Wuxtry was intimate. When I walked into the upstairs portion first, I just fell in love with the environment there. I immediately thought that this visit was definitely not going to be the last. Seeing all that was offered reminded me of my childhood due to the Michael Jackson posters, superhero comics, and children books. I went with friends and we were all in our own little world, reminiscing heartwarming memories. Despite my admiration for the store, I would not go by myself. Since I am a young woman, I would feel insecure about my safety if I wandered alone around downtown. It's not because of the store, but its surroundings. There's always that possibility of danger toward females since we appear more vulnerable. Therefore, because I didn't see any female employees in the store, I could potentially feel uncomfortable even though there might not be an actual reason to feel this way. Comparing our historical body with others, I believe that each person can react to the same situation, such as visiting Bazaar Wuxtry, in different ways. Minorities would feel more comfortable visiting the store because they have similar places in their own country, so they're accustomed to the somewhat deserted areas that may cause others to feel skeptical about the place. In addition, males would proceed to the store more confidently because they don't worry about being harmed as much as females do. However, everyone's perspective of the store can vary, depending on how much they enjoy music or comics. Our historical bodies can influence the way we perceive places and people because we all have experienced unique events throughout our lives. In 1992, though, I think people felt more comfortable because Athens at that time was less busy than it currently is. People were just concerned about obtaining the records they desired for a reasonable price, which they received at Bazaar Wuxtry since their prices were up to $6 cheaper compared to other record stores. Nevertheless, this isn't the past. Times have changed. New trends are present, which made me wonder why some people still enjoyed going to the store and how they felt while they were browsing through their selections. As I asked the customer, her response was genuine.
The store is just really cool. It kind of like gives you like a sense of like back then, if that makes sense. Like just right now I'm looking at the blues And this is a lot of music from like the 1950s, and it's a lot of historical things attached to it. This is Muddy Waters. Really considering buying it because I love Muddy Waters, and like a lot of the music from that time was like tampered with and like experimented with. Really made like a different impact on today's music. So, like I said, this store is like kind of gives you that taste of taste of the past and things like that.
After interviewing this customer, it made me feel curious about how the owners of Bazaar Luxury could change the store to attract more people. If they changed the way the store is presented to the public, I think its location would be insignificant. Fixing its outside appearance first would be most appropriate by painting it a brownish or reddish color to resemble a homier place. As you work your way through the inside, organizing everything in there can limit the overwhelming feeling a person can have. Classical or acoustic music in the background can also intrigue people to continue shopping in peace, creating a more coffee house vibe. This whole change completely affects Bazaar Luxury because it defeats their purpose of becoming a classic vintage store, and it reduces their charisma. Establishing a new composure to the store may be successful for a moment, but in the long run, it will destroy the timeless environment it had once instituted, since its tattered appearance reminds people of the past. I asked the customer if she thought this type of change would benefit the store, and if she would feel different.
No, I would not like it if it was like a coffee house vibe. I think that one of the staples of a comic store is the fact that it's so unorganized, that there's just so much to find. There's so many hidden treasures here that people in like the modern age wouldn't be able to find. So I think that having it here, like it seems cluttered to some people, but if you've been coming here as long as I have, and it feels like home. It's a sense of home.
Despite it thriving the way it is, people still rarely come. I think this is partly because its location at the corner of the street is somewhat hidden, especially because it looks closed as you pass by it. Even though Bazaar Luxury does not have a historical significance in the world, it still has impacted Athens, Georgia quite a bit. Not only has it helped local musicians to succeed in the music industry, but it has also established a cultural history. The apparent rise in the number of UGA students, who make up nearly a third of Athens' population, are nevertheless unaware of this city's cultural history. The store clearly reflects this history because of its diverse music, reading, and toy options. Since all of their merchandise came from different time periods and different artists, it brings to life a pastime that various people enjoyed. Its name also captures the creativity the store gives off because the name Bizarro comes from a character that appeared in Superman in the 1950s, which was an imperfect duplicate of the hero. Someone thus mentioned that the upstairs comic book store was a bizarre version of Luxury, the downstairs record store. This reference eventually became part of the store's name, which adds to its peculiarity. Bizarro Luxury's history definitely influenced my perspective towards it. I believe if people knew about its backstory, then more people would be attracted to visit. However, because we live in a world that relies on first impressions, most people miss out on exploring remarkable and extraordinary places such as this one.